Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, you know this is for you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you've got the Emperor, right? This is about really tapping into your own power this week. And I kind of feel like a lot of you might be presented with something where, you know, usually maybe you take the slower approach or the quieter approach. This week, I don't feel like you're going to have that luxury. It's like you're going to have to, like, you might have a moment this week where you're having to really not only stand up for yourself, but maybe stand up for somebody else. This is a moment where you're having to really put your foot down on something. Now, I like Taurus as a sign because you guys are slow, you're steady, you tend to be, you know, quite honest as well, sometimes too honest. All the fixed signs are though, really. They're, you know, subtle as a brick. But there's, I don't know, I just kind of get this sense that this week there's something that you're gonna, it's like you have to show up. You have to say something, whereas maybe usually you would kind of, you know, find a roundabout way or whatever. This week you are having to put your foot down with something or to stamp something out. I think this is actually a very good thing for you. Taurus has had, you know, you've got Uranus in your sign, which has really been shaking up and waking up everything about you. And I think in a lot of ways, you're now coming into your power, but in a very different way, right? And what this suggests to me is, especially with the Emperor, this is about you kind of controlling your environment more. It's about being more present, if anything. And I actually think this could be a good thing for you. So if you are new to my channel, you know, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates. For those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves ya. And I just wanted to say this year I have two very special guests as part of the Winter Solstice Alignment Activation. So you can get your seat on the link in the description box below. We're going to be talking tarot, astrology, numerology, human design. We're going to be doing a future life progression to see what 2022 holds for you specifically. And this year, as so many of you requested last year, there is going to be a recording. All right, so get your seat. You don't want to miss this. All right, for your actions and options, you have the Four of Wands. This is gorgeous, right? So what we do notice here, so the Four of Wands with the Emperor, this is about you having, I almost want to say, having the guts to celebrate something for yourself, right? Like Taurus is quite low key when it comes to things that they've achieved and all the rest of it. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you know, that happened. I really like this because it suggests that you're celebrating something this week. This is a moment of recognition, but for yourself. And maybe this is, you know, this Emperor energy, maybe this is in response to a naysayer. You know, maybe somebody's saying like, oh, well, you know, you've always been this, or da-da-da-da. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this week, it's almost like you're saying, well, actually, I worked really hard to achieve this, so it would be nice if you could be happy for me. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're really, there's something that you're having to say this week, and it might be in response to something really great that you do. And, you know, there's always that one person that wants to pee on the fireworks. This might be something like that. Now, that being said, you've got the Four of Wands and you've got the Emperor, which is also number 4. 2 4s represents insomnia. So this week, you know, you might find that you're struggling to sleep a little bit. It might be a little bit tense, a little bit terse, which, you know, in a way kind of fits because we're coming up to, I almost want to say like we're coming, yeah, well, it's not this week, but, you know, we're coming up to, we're approaching the full moon. And I think that's going to be an interesting time for you guys as well. All right, with that, you've got your 10 of Wands in the communications and conversations. So when it comes to communication this week, one of the things with the 10 of Wands, there's 2 things that I want to talk about here. One, sometimes this can see you saying something that a lot of people aren't, or a lot of people or one specific person isn't necessarily ready to hear, right? I'm laughing and it's kind of funny, but it's not because of the way that it's in my head. There's a lot of things that happen. So I won't go through the whole cartoon skit that I just saw. But this could be one of those moments, you know, when there's like a bully and they're always like raining on someone's parade and and then someone just one day pipes up and absolutely decimates them with like 5 sentences, and then they start crying and wailing because it's like, I can't believe you just said that. And it's like, I'm sorry, you ruin everybody else's day by stealing their joy practically every day of the year. This could be one of those moments, right? So that's one way that this might play out for you. This might be you really shutting somebody down and saying something that maybe they're not ready to hear. That's one way. The other way that this might show up for you as well, that person that's always trying to talk over you or to shout you down, it's like you're going to pull them up on it. Do you know what I mean? So there's a couple of ways that this could happen. And, you know, actually the third scenario is maybe somebody, you know, silences you. Maybe somebody says something that makes you stop to think, oh, okay, actually, you know what, I hadn't considered that. All right, so it could be an interesting week for communication this week. Now, for those of you that are employees that work for somebody else, this could be a bit of a tussle with the boss, I'm sorry to say, right? The Emperor can represent your boss, you know, your authority figure, your supervisors, etc., managers. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if some of you had a bit of a friction with a boss. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, maybe you're having a bit of a tids-was with an employee. You know, that's one way that this could show up. Another way that it could be as well is that you decide to take something or some aspect of your business in a very different direction. It is the 10 of Wands after all. For those of you that are, yeah, that seems to be coming through and I don't know why, but okay. For those of you, sorry, having a conversation with the cards. For those of you that are homeowners, something to do with either the foundations or the underpinning of a house might come up this week. All right, so I don't know who that's for, but you'll know if it's for you. For those of you that are retired or no longer working, this could be a time where your family maybe lean on you for more of your input, or maybe there's something this week that a family member says to you that you don't necessarily want to hear, that might not be comfortable, and it forces you to kind of say, okay, you know what? I have to step up more. I've got to be more present. I have to play more of an active role in what's going on right now. For your love and relations, you've got the 4 of Swords, right? So 3 fours is a subject for reflection. All right, so there's definitely something that you're ruminating this week, right? And the fact that it is the 4 of Swords, you've got this right underneath the 4 of Wands. So, I mean, that's very interesting to me. I kind of get the feeling that, yeah, so the 4 of Swords is rest, recuperation, all of that stuff. But it's more than that. It's about really, you know, meditation and contemplation. And the fact that you've got this in your partnership sector, this could be you ruminating over the relationship, really looking at, you know, how can I improve things for me and my partner? How can I improve things, you know, if you have family, a family, how can I improve things for my family? There's something that you're thinking really hard and really deep on this week. For those of you that are already married, partnered, or in long-term commitments, and I kind of get this feeling that maybe there's going to be a conversation that comes up where maybe your partner says to you, look, I need more of your help or your support. Or maybe they say to you, you know what, I need you to be a bit more present. Or maybe you have a conversation with them and say, look, I get that you're stressed out, but, you know, we can find ways to get around this. And the reason I say this is it's not like you're having hard conversations. There's no hard here. It's literally just finding and looking at ways to make something better. And for some of you, this might revolve around a home or a dwelling. For some of you, this might revolve around the roles that you have within the relationship. For those of you that are single, I mean, honestly, whatever invites come up for you, go ahead, right? You know, I'm just going to say you might end up having a lot of fun. You might end up having, it might just be a conversation. You know, you might find, you know, at first you're really attracted to somebody and you're like, oh, you know what, maybe there's something. And then through talking to them, you're like, actually, I don't fancy you, but you know what? I think you'd be a really great friend. Do you know what I mean? Friend zone. You know, but jokes aside, like it could actually be really nice. There's an ease here, when it comes to relationships that you guys haven't had for a while. So it's nice to give you some good news. And then for your money and materials, you've got the 9 of Swords. So there is a frustration or a challenge around money this week when it comes to the finances, when it comes to the resources. And, you know, maybe there's because it's the 9 of Swords, right? So the first thing I want to say to you is get out of your head. You might be making it a lot worse than it actually is. The second thing that I want to say to you is when it comes to your finances, this could be a point at which a problem isn't actually as bad as you're seeing it, right? So that's one way. The other thing is this could be a moment where something that you are concerned about on a financial level suddenly starts to be a bit more prominent, and it looks like it's something to do with the home. I don't know why, there's just this real sort of home energy around it. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your arms, your hands, your fingers, all of your upper extremities and your upper airways. You've got this underneath the 10 of Wands, so I would say to a lot of you, this might be a week where you probably want to think about ways that you can strengthen your upper body and specifically the upper back. All right, and then for, you know, all of us nowadays, you know, because of the phone or the laptop or whatever, you know, that upper body strength and straightening the back is so important. And then when it comes to your home and environment, there's some sort of worry here, but it is external. It's really strange. It's like there's something going on in the home, but it's coming from outside. The unit, the family, the connection, the partnership, or even just you, if it's just you, you are fine, right? The unit on the inside of the home is fine, but there's some sort of outside energy, challenge, maybe even interference that seems to be getting the better of yous. So, you know, find a way this week. You've got to be that emperor, right? You've got to put your foot down. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. It would be wonderful to see you at the winter solstice. Check out the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.